Hey you guys, how are you? Hello and welcome. We have another really beautiful sunny day. I just really wanted to show you guys this. I'm so proud of the variegation on this plant. This plant's been on a real journey with me. I've had it for a while and it didn't shoot out any growth for a long time. And then all of a sudden I got two new leaves, three new leaves actually. And yeah, so it's just a really cool plant. So I made a video on another plant, the octopus plant, or the Schefflera actinophylla, which is the giant Australian umbrella tree. And I filmed that at school. It was a very, very quick video. I'm gonna upload that in conjunction with this one because they're in the same family. They're both in the Araliaceae family. I don't know if you guys remember my Balfour Aralia. I made a video on way earlier, close to New Year's Eve. This is in the same family. Completely different plant though. And I just really wanted to highlight both members of the Schefflera genus, and I'm gonna upload that one pretty soon. That one's a video. I'll readily admit it didn't have the best sound quality because I had to wear a mask because I was just inside. So just respecting other people and doing my part, I wore my mask in that video, so I'm sorry if you guys read lips. It's pretty hard to read lips in that video. But I'll upload that one too. So enough rambling on. This here is Schefflera arboricola variegata, or the dwarf umbrella tree, the variegated dwarf umbrella tree. This here is native to two islands very specifically. So the bigger umbrella tree, the octopus one, is native to Queensland, Australia, as well as Papua New Guinea and parts of Indonesia sporadically. But this one over here is native to two islands. It's native to Taiwan and Hainan. So Hainan is in the south of China. I think it's most well known for the Haiku city and also well known for Sanya, which is more of like a resort town. And then Taiwan is a semi-autonomous island off the coast of central Japan, or China, sorry. So completely different geographical zones, both on the Pacific Ocean, but very, very different areas that this plant is native to, and it doesn't seem to be found anywhere in between. So it has this really nice palmately compounded leaf, almost reminds me of the money tree or the Pachira aquatica. Usually comes in lobes of about 5 to about 10. Really depends on the age of the specimen. Usually they'll add a few more leaves to their lobe later on as they start to mature. It has this really interesting flower. It's almost like a bronzy kind of rust colored. I think I'll actually show you guys on my phone. It's really hard to describe. I believe it's a paniculin form. And I don't know if you guys, this is so obscure. I don't know if you guys ever dissected starfish in high school, but it's kind of that gross shade of like yellowy orange. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I think it's worth mentioning. So this here is what the bloom looks like. I don't know if you can see that there. And it usually sets out blooms in September, October where I live. Pretty hard to replicate the conditions they need to bloom, which is high light, high humidity, good soil drainage indoors. And yeah, so this is the kind of plant where it'll either grow really fast for you or really slow. There's no sort of in between. This is a plant that's somewhat toxic. Don't recommend eating this. It is toxic to your pets. I've seen conflicting, contradictory statements on the internet about its toxicity, but I've come to the conclusion from what I've seen that it's kind of a hit or miss, but it could be quite toxic. Yeah, so it has this really nice marbled venation to it. Some of the leaves are almost completely albal, which means that they're almost like ghost leaves. They have no pigmentation to them whatsoever. The the variegation exists on both sides. It's usually slightly less variegated on the bottom side, but all your variegations in the stem. You can cut off the top and make propagates and start your own stem cuttings, and they should preserve the variegation. There's no real need to trim this back to preserve variegation because it doesn't tend to revert. Of course it can, like all variegated plants, but it's incredibly hard for this plant to revert. It's quite a stable variegation. It's in the third chimera, I believe, so it's quite a stable influence on its genetic code, so you're not likely to lose your variegation. I've seen these plants so expensive on Etsy. I don't know what it is about Etsy. I've had such great success buying stuff on Etsy, but some people just mark up the plants' prices. They're just like, oh, this is rare, this is hard to come by, and then they just make it like $300. I don't get why they do that. This is a pretty readily available plant. Very easy to take care of too. So it likes more like fibrous soils. I recommend growing it in like coir or like coconut husk or even a regular potting mix. Likes decently high humidity, but 65% is fine. Like regular ambient house humidity, a little on the high side is fine. Um, and one more thing I really, really want to talk about this plant is the variegation, the way that it comes in. So unlike a lot of plants, this isn't the plant that starts with really strong variegation and then it fades to green. Completely the contrary. This plant will start kind of a lime color, and then in about a week you'll start seeing these tiny little, they almost look like chlorotic spots. I don't know if that's going to focus. And then they start coming in, and then it just gets more and more pronounced until it eventually becomes this like crazy pale, creamy white yellow color. It's just super interesting. So do not be alarmed if your plant starts, or if you've been sold like a jade Schefflera arboricola, one that's supposed to be all green, and then it starts getting that pigmentation. Most of the time that just means it's coming in with variegation. Check the turgidity of the plant, make sure that it looks physiologically well, and then that variegation should persist for you and be really, really good. It's just so striking. Incredibly striking. It's almost like a butterscotch color. I love it so much. But yeah, so this plant here is very hard to propagate from seed. I tried once. It's really, I don't know if I just messed it up, but it's really hard to propagate from seed. What else should I say? I water it every Friday, or as much as it needs. I have it under artificial grow lights that I got from Home Depot. It's quite a heavy drinker actually. It likes drying between waterings, but you'll be surprised by how quickly it dries. Yeah. So have a really great day, you guys. I'll come by with that other video on the larger plants. Admittedly, not my best video, but I hope you guys enjoy that one too. It's very informative. And yeah, stay blessed. I really love tropical plants. I love talking about them. Love talking to you guys. And I hope you guys are all doing really well. I got big plans for this channel. Stay blessed.